Okay. So last week we have discussed about the form, and today we need to work out. So how can we save this form into the database, right? So that is the one that we are working on these days. Like this is related to the World Wide Web, Internet and World Wide Web. We are actually discussing about the server-side programming. And last day, what we have done is basically PHP part. Basically, we have created the form, the full form we have created, and let's do the submission part today. Okay. Before we begin, I'd like to start Mac, Apache, MySQL, PHP. In your case, you can start SAMP, or in you are using Windows, you can start WAMP also. Whatever the software that you have, you can start. Right. In my case, I have to start a XAMPP. Right. So this one. Okay. Let's move to the folder that I have created last week. Start brackets. So I was doing coding using brackets. I have saved this into folder called form, as I remember. If not, not this one. Yeah, I hope this is the form. Yeah, this is the form. We have done validation also and pattern matching, as well as like this is for why we have done the pattern matching, because we wanted to identify how HTML5 can be used. This is in the user folder, in htdocs user folder. I think we have to access user folder there. And in the user folder, you can see the form. This is the full form that we have created. When you submit, it will be submitted to, actually I have to fill this because I have done the validation. These fields are mandatory because I have given that as required. Here you can see. So when it is given as required, the fields will become mandatory. So then without filling that, we cannot move to the next. So let me fill the values. Dasun, Nilanjana, some kind of date of birth. Okay, let's put some value. So I'm putting some stuff there. The telephone number you have to write according to the given format, otherwise it will be rejected. And here email. Say, so this is overhead because I had to fill this, but anyway, so this is the way that we have created the form. Right, once you finish this, and you can do the submission, and that will go to the process.php. In the process.php, what we have done, we have created array. That array is basically print in R, print in the, here, this is my process.php. Do I have the file with me now? Seems not there. Let me open it. File, open recent. Okay, this one, process.php, just this code, isolated code, you can see print underscore R process.php, print underscore R dollar underscore post, print underscore R, then dollar underscore post. Varun, better you have joined, right? Because like, even though you have the examination, this part is critical. If you miss this, like, it's very difficult to catch it up. Right, okay. So because this is the last part related to PHP MySQL, and once done, so this is like this part will be over. Now we have already done the database part. Okay, so how can we connect to the database? That is my next point. Your database should be ready according to this. Your database should be ready according to this. All right. So here you have the title, first name, middle name, last name, all these things. So let me access the database. So you know two ways of accessing database by now. So one is going to the local host, and there you can type. After typing the port, typically your port is 80 here. My one, I am using special port 8888. but I can remember that most of you have used port 80. So you know you don't want to type that port because 80 is a default port. But if you're using some other port, you need to type that. Since I'm using 8888, I'm typing 8888. But if you're using port 80, no need to type. So then the graphical user interface tool, PHP MyAdmin, that is the tool name. Okay, that will give access to the database window. This is graphical user interface access, but in the examination, you won't be asked this part. In the examination, you won't be asked this part. You won't be asked because you have to write the codes in command line interface. You have to create the databases in command line interface. You have to access the databases in command line interface, create tables in command line interface. So this part won't be accepted. So you have to go back and refer the database lesson for that. Okay, let's create a new database. I'm going to create a new database, and the database name that I'm going to name as DB users. DB users is my database name. Creating that. So this is my database. So under that, I'm going to create the table. So what is the table name? It is, let's say, TBL users, and that should cater my need. My need is basically I need to enter the title, 1 field, first name, 2 field, middle name, 3, last name, 4, date of birth, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then how many hobbies? How many hobbies? You need to count that. 11. Let's go to the user form back. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And the confirm password not required, equal to 24, 20 plus user need identification. Let's use user ID, altogether 21 fields. It's a very big table with 21 fields. So let's create. The initial one, UID, then the title, UTitle, let's say UTitle, UTT, then first name, middle name, last name. So what are the other fields? Date of birth, address, city. Okay. DOB, AWDRESS, city. Country, gender, civil status, hobbies. Country, gender, civil status. Hobbies, actually, you need to write one by one. Means music, dancing, art, reading, traveling, photography, sports. Music, dancing, art, reading, traveling, photography, a big table, right? Traveling, photography, and then what? Traveling, photography, sports, TP, email, password. Okay, TP, email, password. Let's say PW. User ID is integer, let's say 4. User title is, you can say, variable character, Mr. like professor, PROF, maximum. Prof doc, okay, Prof 4 is enough. First name, let's say Vacha 40. Middle name, same. Here, let's give 40, 40, 40. Date of birth is date. Address is Vacha. Let's say address is also length here. Let's put 200 there. City, Vacha, let's say 100 there. Country, Vacha, let's put, country is not that much, 40. 30 is enough. Gender, you can say male and female. You can just say cha. Cha, only one character. M and F. Civil status, married, yes, no. Married, unmarried. You can put only one character. The easiest way is put in Boolean, yes, no. Boolean here actually it's like yes, no, right? 1, 0. So music, these things also you can put Boolean because 1, 0 values. If yes, 1, otherwise 0. So you can say Boolean. Boolean. So Boolean will be converted to tiny int, right? In the database, this will be converted to tiny int. Tiny int means only 1 byte integer. It can be 1 or 0. That is the convert. So that small int and these are that, but this will be converted to tiny int and to store 1, 0. But let's give as Boolean, right? So we can give Boolean. It can convert. It will do that task. So civil status Boolean. Gender also you can give Boolean character, that doesn't matter. Integer for number, telephone number maximum 10 integers, email, let's say variable characters maximum 40 characters, password variable characters, let's put maximum 50 characters. They are okay, we are done, and we now need to put these values. Index is primary. Okay. Size is 4. Okay. And this is automatically implemented. Once inserted, this will be automatically implemented. Okay, we have given all these things. So please do accordingly. This is our big table. So primary key is user ID and it is auto implemented, and this is what we are going to do. Let's preview the SQL just to see what is there, because this will be asked in the examination. Okay, you can see this query. This is what you have to write in the examination, but don't worry, you won't get this kind of lengthy query, but at least for a small table, you need to write this. Okay, can you see what is there? Create table, DB users, TBL user. DB users is the database name, TBL user is the table name. UID, INT4, not null, auto implement. Then UTT, title, Vacha 4, not null, FN Vacha 40, not null, MN Vacha 40, not null. Likewise, it continues with the data types. All these things, then email, password, Vacha 450, not null. Then the primary key is UID. The primary key is the UID, that is the main identifier. And yes, now we can actually save this and that will be created. What is that? All right, so let's remove the primary key part. Sometimes this might give problems. Later we can add. What is that? Let's remove the auto increment too. Okay, done. So now after doing that, we can change this, because this happens sometimes. So in the GUI version, this happened. Don't worry, just click here and then set the primary key. Our query is anyway correct. You can see it is now set to the primary key, and also you can change this to auto increment 2. After that, you can do, right? Initially, it's not given, don't know why, but later you can change it. Now you can see it is auto incremented and primary key. That can be done. This is actually by writing alter query, it does, but creating query wala denne naha. So don't know why, what's the reason, maybe this is error. But anyway, whatever the query that we have given initial stage is correct. Right, I'm just recalling the SQL things that we have learned. So if you cannot remember that stuff, please refer to the SQL lesson or the database lesson. We have already learned that. Okay, anyway, our table is now created. Now it is ready to accept data. It is ready to accept data. Our challenge is sending data into the table. So that should be done using the programming code. Okay, it is time to do now. So what we are going to do, I'm going to copy and paste these results that you got. Okay, this one, I'm going to copy and paste it here. Why? Because then it is easy to identify the variable names. Nothing else, right? Okay. Right. Dollar. First one is UID. UID was not there, so you don't want to worry about that. Let's start with the title. Dollar title is equal to $_post. You can say TT. Likewise, you can assign other values. But before this, you have to check whether the user has submitted. To do that, you can say if $_post TT. If title submitted only, you have to set the title. So you can just check is set. If is set $_post title, then only you have to set the title. Otherwise, user has not submitted that. Actually, if title is submitted, you can assume other values are also submitted. So you don't want to check other values again and again, because if title is submitted, means the entire form is submitted. Otherwise, you have to check one by one for each and every value, right? With the title submitted, with the FN submitted, with the MN submitted, with the LN submitted, with the DOB submitted. That is also headache. Checking each and every value. But so when the title is submitted, we can assume that other values are with that other values are also submitted. So we are not going to check other values now. We can assume all together everything is submitted. Then $FN equal, similarly you can say $_post FN. Let's continue. You need 21 such values. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, done. So what are the values? Let's put first name, middle name, last name, first name, middle name, last name, DOB, address, city, city, country, gender, civil status or the marital status, CS. Here also the $sign need to be added. First name, middle name, last name, DOB. First name, middle name, last name, DOB. Okay. Civil status. After that, then the hobbies comes. What are the hobbies? Let's go back to the form and see. Okay, music, dancing, art, reading, traveling, photography, sports. So this form is better. You have only 21 columns. So actually, when I was in the development firm, this is in like a few years ago, I was working attached to a software company, 2008-9 period, like 12, 13 years back. So they actually, there was a tech lead. I was working as a junior programmer. There, I had to do programming coding in the Linux environment using PHP and some technologies. Actually, when I was doing the programming, so our tech lead, that guy, he saw me a database, right? That is like a spider arc. That is like a spider web. It's a very big table, like having 200, 300 plus tables So when he zoom into one table, there are like in one table also, there are were closer to 30, 40 columns. So that is like a very big database. Actually, I was coding for 2 tables in the particular database. The other members also doing coding for some other tables. Actually, the entire product, no one knows because we have done only one portion there in Sri Lanka. There was a Bangalore team developing some other codes. So likewise, people in the different countries are developing different portions, like a big system like eBay, right? So you're only getting a portion, right? Now you have clear idea, at least you have one table in this database. It's a very easy thing when it when consider about the real environment. That is what happening in the real environments. Just pay your attention to that as well. Oh, I have changed the civil status. I have done a mistake here. I have to paste this civil status. Why did I change that to music? CS. Okay, then sports done. Then the TP. I think I have missing some. Title, first name, middle name, last name, DOB, address, city, country, gender, okay, civil status, hobbies, music, dancing, art, reading, traveling, photography, sports, dancing, art, reading, traveling, photography, sports, yeah, everything is there. Then the TP number, okay, let's include and see. TP number, email, and the password. Oh, I think I missed some anyway. So let's ID is anyway not there. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, 21 is the ID. It is not there. So let's copy and paste this music here or just type, yeah, music, dancing, art, reading, traveling, photography, sports. I hope these are the values, right? Art, yeah. Dancing. Okay. The username is the email. Email is the username, UN. TP is the telephone number, yeah, correct. So what else? PW is the password. Okay, I have captured all the values into variables. That is the first phase of coding. I have captured all the values to all the values. Now printer is not needed because I have captured everything to. Okay, but there can be issues because if somebody has not submitted this music, dance in something, this can cause an error. Let's see. I'm going to go back, refresh. Okay, you are getting nothing there because I nothing submitted. So you have values and I'm submitting email. Dasun at gicts.lk and password and confirm password. I'm submitting these only. Save. You can see it's empty, but if I submit everything, anyway it's getting empty because nothing is there. You can see this because nothing is printed. So very important thing is, let's print our $_ post query. When everything submitted, reading, traveling, photography, yeah, everything submitted, it comes like this. But so if you try to miss some things, some hobbies, it might give errors. Here you are still getting this, but the thing is, this part, you will not get some values to these columns. So you have to check here. So checking can be done I will teach you one thing that rather than just type in if else, you can just check this with single statement called ternary statement. So that is a single line if else statement. You can check here if is set, if is set $_ because this can be submitted. These are optional. Unlike the other columns, other columns are mandatory anyway you'll get, but this is optional, right? You can check like this, and then you can equal to this value, or you can equal that to value 0. See here, understand the code. If is set music, then you get the value. You can get the value 1. Else you can get the value 0. Right? Music is set based on this condition. If it is submitted, it is 1, otherwise 0. This is called single line if else statement. So basically, no need to write if even. If type karan, this is a thing. If is set this, you are setting 1, otherwise 0. This is one line state. Similarly, you can do the remaining part. Is set this, 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 you are setting to 1, otherwise 0. Yeah, 1, otherwise 0, 1, otherwise 0, 1, otherwise 0, 1, otherwise 0, 1, otherwise 0. Then it won't give errors. Instead of that, it will assign values based on the submit. If submitted, then 1, otherwise 0. So this way you can reform your code. This way you can reform your code. Let's say refresh. Okay, nothing there. But if you want to get these things, what you can do is instead of printing R, printing as an array. So let's print this thing. Echo or print. You can print the values that you have obtained. Okay, let's print this. The title, then let's keep on pasting. This is a lot of copy paste stuff. Oh, these are still testing, right? I'm not going to insert before that. I need to test whether I'm getting all the values perfectly, which is ready to be submitted to the database in expected. So after the title, I need to put a BR because to go to the next line, right? Break rule. Otherwise, this will be displayed in a single line. Let's put this. Replacing this part. Replacing. Just add in a new line after the variable value. If something missing, I won't get the values for this one, right? So let's print all the values and see. First round we have obtained, so please understand what we did. First round we have checked whether submitted. If form submitted, collecting value to variables. After that, I'm printing the collected value to check whether all are ready to be sent to the database. This is intermediate code. I'm going to delete this code after testing. After testing, this won't be needed. So let's refresh. Okay, you can see the values. Some are missing, some are there. So Mr. Dasun, Nilanjana, Sirimevan, yes, address is there. Come, LK, married, male, married. So I don't need married or unmarried. So if you can remember, in the table, we have stored this as here, civil status, tiny int means 1 or 0. So I need 1 or 0. So again, I need to reformat this. So what are the values? Married, unmarried. I don't need that. I need 1 or 0. Let's go to the form again. And let's put that values. Civil status, where are the civil status? Here, CS. Actually, the value I need, if married 1, if unmarried 0, right? I'm just reforming values. I don't need the other values because I just need to enter 1, 0 to that. Gender is a character, single character. I don't need male, female. Instead of that, I need MF. I'm entering that values, otherwise I will get incorrect value to my database. Okay, reformatted. Try again. Oh, submitted already. Clicking this, and I have set art, traveling, photography, sports. Let's put Dasun and soft. Okay, something. Password. Save. Okay, still I'm now still I'm getting married, not married. Why is that? So let me refresh the form. Let's try rewrite this. Dasun. Bit headache because you have to enter all the data. So maybe you can use a form filling application to get this done. Let's put the values, dancing, and zeros on 1, latest on 3, an email, password, save. Okay, I'm getting the name. M is there, 10 is there. These values I'm not getting anything. Oh my God, so I'm not getting anything at all. And email I'm getting, before that also I'm getting empty value. What is that? Is that empty value? Process.php. TP is it? I'm not getting TO. Should be TP. Now it should come. Is set this set in 1, otherwise 0. Getting 0 only means that is not set. $music equal is set $post music, then 1, otherwise 0. So let's do resubmission again. I'm checking music. Save. Okay, now I'm getting the telephone number for luckily. And here also 1 I'm getting. For music, I'm getting 1. Okay. Why for the other ones? For dancing, I'm not getting. Dancing, I'm not getting the 1. Art, I'm not getting 1. For music, I'm getting 1. Dancing and art, I'm not getting that. So let me check. There might be mistakes. Simple capital. I had to put this. Dancing, art. The names need to be simple. Please edit your code accordingly. If possible, I'll be resending photography. Sport. That is the reason that I'm not getting right. So these are very sensitive areas. So address carefully. The values you can submit any value, but the names are using programming. So be careful on that. So let's refresh. Okay, go back again. You have to refresh this one. Retype again. That is the nature. A lot of testing need to be done with the coding. Add in the date of birth. These are not still validated. The incorrect date of birth. These things need to be validated because this is newborn baby. You can see it born just a few days ago. So you should not be accept such false values because a newborn babies cannot fill forms, right? So this should be a valid date of birth. Like this is not a valid date of birth. But these need to be checked. So I have not done that check-in part. And also married. That is a dangerous point. So let's put reading and photography, few things, and traveling also. 071983. Save. Okay, now we can see the 1s and 0s properly. I'm getting all the values. To get these values, you need this big code. Okay, the modification to the code, let me send it to you, otherwise this won't work. In the chat section, let me upload. First of all, I'm uploading the PHP file. Please download, but you have to place in the server, right? When you download, please place that in the server environment, otherwise it won't work. You go to the applications and MAMP, MAMP, under htdocs, under user. Two files are there, index and index. I've sent the index file. Now I'm sending the process file. Both files are sent to you. If you need the database, I can send the database too, but that is also not a very good thing. So how can I send the database? What I need to do is I can export. Okay, I can export this by downloading. It will download the SQL code. You can see here, right? This is the SQL code related to the table creation. And I'll send that code to you. You can run this and create your table, right? This has add in primary key as well as add in the auto increment facility. Both are there. Let me paste the code. You can copy this to a notepad and later paste this in the SQL section and get this done. This is the table definition, right? I'll send that as well. Now everything you need is there. So index.php file, process.php file, and the table related query is also there. So you can set up the environment very quickly. Even you have not done programming, what you need to do is you have to copy paste this in the relevant sections, copy paste the files into the relevant sections, the server folder, then go to the SQL, create a database called DB users. After that, after creating the DB users database, please go to the TBL users and then go to the SQL, create a table, no need to create table, just go to the DB users and then go to the SQL, and in the SQL, just paste the code that I have sent like this, and that will create. So if I go, this will do nothing because it's already created. It's a duplicate. Therefore, here table already exists. But if it is another table, let's say table user 2, if I change this name to table user 2 here, I'm changing very small post place. Other things same. TBL user 2 change karot. It will execute the query and I have to use TBL user 2 here. TBL user 2 here. Then here also I alter table TBL user 2. Here TBL user 2. And you can see when I altered, it will create another table called TBL user 2. And this table will look exactly similar to the TBL user. So that is what you need to do. Okay, but I need only TBL user 1 there. So is there anything else? Please let me know. HTML form code is also sent. Situ, that is what I have seen. Index.php is the HTML code. Right? Index.php, the PHP, even though that PHP file, so that has the HTML code, right? Do you need that file again or what do you mean? I'll send you the PHP file inside that. Yeah, I'm sending that file again if you need. So that has the HTML form. And this has the, okay, check it now. Check it now whether it's visible to you now. I'll send 2 files. Index.php, process.php. I have again sent. Isn't it visible to you? If not, the only solution is I can just copy and paste the code. I'm not sure. This is long code, right? So not allow me to copy. I'll copy into 2 pages then. The method that I can copy paste in one time. Oh, still not allowed me. If you cannot see, then what to do? I'll do something. Contact paste. Oh no, I cannot paste direct. I have to log into this. Is there any other? Okay, I'll send one by one. So this is doc type. Okay, first 20 lines. This is first 20 lines. No, still not allowed me to say. I have to say like 10 line, not even these then. Because this is lengthier, that's the reason why I cannot send this. Okay, first 10 lines. Next 10 lines. Wait, next 10 lines. Check whether you are getting the code by now at least. The next 10 lines. Just paste in. Next 10 lines. Next few lines. And next few lines. Just paste in. Next few lines. You have to copy and paste all these things and create this, right? Okay, I have sent the entire HTML file. This is HTML file. This is process.php file. Now I'm trying. First 10. This is carefully paste, otherwise you will miss lines, right? This is the next set. And this is the final set. And this is the final set again. So I have sent all these things. Okay, now we have done considerable work, but still it is not in the database. Unfortunately, after all these things, I have the data formatted according to the need, but it will not be inserted to the database. And here the spaces also matter, because like I have used some spaces, these spaces need to be removed because database will not accept this value with the spaces. So let's try to put as it is. Sometimes database will auto format, but sometimes it will not. That is the critical task. Okay, how can we insert this to the database now? You can make it integer, right? You can make it integer. Let's pass it to integer and see the TP int. So, oh, I'm not getting that. Integer. So I have to convert this to like that. PARSC. This is in JavaScript. No, I think no, not that way. So 21 to that. No, it's giving an error. It's not adding. Okay, keep as it is. Let's try to put the database code first. Right, how can we insert into the database? First of all, what you need to do is you have to connect with the server. To do that, you can just say, set the connection, $connection is equal to my SQLi underscore connect. Then you have to write, first of all, local host, then username is root, and in my one the password is also root, and the database is what's the database name? DB users. DB users or die cannot connect. So let's see what will happen. Let's save it, refresh it. Okay, no errors means it is connected. So you can check if connection, can print echo connected. Connection is successful, connected. Refresh, you can see connected. I'm lucky. Localhost root database. So I have given the user host name, username, password, database name. I have connected to the database. Or you can do this in two phases. One thing is giving this and try to connect to the server first. The second phase you can do like this. $DB equal MySQL I select underscore DB. Then you can give dollar connection and the DB name after that, DB users. Or die means if in case if you cannot connect, you have to stop the whole program. No need to execute further. Cannot connect to DB. So if successful, you can measure it. If $DB, here you are checking it with the connected echo, connected to DB. This is two phase. So same thing, but I'm doing using two stages. You can see the first one, connected to DB, both are connected. But if I made a mistake, let's say DB users 2, there is no such database. So it says first one connected, second one cannot connected to DB. It's giving the errors. Here, if I made a mistake, let's say password is, so in your case, I think you have empty password, right? So please check that. ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ වගේ මෙහෙම දෙන්න නැත්තේ localhost root password empty දෙන්න ඕනේ නැත්තේ. මොකද මම වැරදි password එකක් දුන්නොත් ඒක connect වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Cannot connect. ඒතර මම empty password එකක් දුන්නොත් ඒක connect වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Cannot connect. But in your case you have empty password. Check it 2 times, right? root දුන්නම ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ connect වෙන්නේ නැති. Your username is root but password is sometimes it's not root, right? Host කරලා තිබ්බනම් එතන තියෙන username password දෙන්න ඕන, correct. So if you try this correctly, then no errors. So it will connect and it will select the DB. Yes, both are done. Now first page is over. Actually you don't want to print this even. I'm just checking. These are checking codes. No need to print these. මේවා print කරන්න ඕනෙත් නෑනේ. මේ ටිකත් පස්සේ අපිට අයින් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Later we can remove. Okay, now connected to the database, connected to the server, both are done. So now what? Now what? You are connected to the DB, connected to the server. Now you have to insert. $query equal, this is the big query. Insert into the table name is, what is the table name? Insert into table name is TBL user. You need to know that. Depends on your creation. Insert into, okay, TBL user, yes, correct. TBL user, what you need to insert? Then the values. TBL user, you can give the column names and the values. Let's give the column names first. So what are the column names? You know, this is a headache, right? You have to write a lot. That is the nature. Okay, let's write what are the column names. These are the column names. Ooh, let's copy this. Can I copy? Okay. Select. These are the column names. Okay. UID, user title, the first name, middle name, last name, DOB, address, city, country, gender. Okay, all the columns you need to give. Reading, traveling, photography, sports, passwords. Okay, I have given everything. We're traveling, photography, and passwords. Okay, now what? I need to give the values. Values. Initially, this is null because you are not going to insert this. Then the first name is what? That is this. First name, this is another. You are title. Title is title. Title is title. Comma. After that, $FN. First name, dollar, middle name, dollar, last name, comma, dollar, DOB, comma. Likewise, you need to give all the field names. Even though you give like that, the query is not yet over. So this is only a partial query. Let me print the query and check whether is it printing properly. Echo $Q. Let's run this now. I'm getting this with the values. But you can see these values need to be quoted. Right? It's getting some values, but these values need to be quoted. You can see these values are not quoted. There is a problem. So title need to be this inside the single quotation. First name inside or in single quotation actually done may double quotation start kalla. Already I have started double quotation. If I put double quotation, this will think the string is over. To stop that, I have to put a single quotation and last name inside single quotation, DOP inside single quotation, address inside single quotation, city inside single quotation, and country inside single quotation. Gender single letter inside single quotation. CS can be given as 1. Music, these things can be given. These are numbers. Sports can be given. 2 is what? TP, right? 2 is not that. TP is there. It is email and password can also be given inside the quotation. Save it. Still the task is not over. Refresh. You're getting it. So let's try to insert this to the database and see whether it's working. I'm going to the SQL part, pasting this here, trying to execute. Okay, I'm unlucky. You can see some errors. Server version of the right syntax 9 or 988. That is the problem. This number, I already said that this should be a number. Put in this number, we can go. Okay, inserted. That is the only problem that I found. The only problem is the telephone number. It is not formatted accordingly. So one thing that you can do is you can give the telephone number without spaces. So you can give the telephone number without any spaces. That is number one thing that you can do in the form. The second thing is you can remove spaces. Second thing is you can remove spaces in the telephone number. Right? The problem is actually I have not used PHP for a long time, and I also cannot remember how to remove the spaces. So that can be done by converting into the integers. Okay, let's say convert to integer PHP. Sorry for my mistake because I'm working with int val. So this is int. So I'm using it many languages, so I'm confusing when doing these days Python, other languages too. So let's do the conversion part and see whether we can accept that. Yeah, I can get the int val of this. If this is successful, my task is simple. Done, and let's refresh. Oh, I'm getting 7.1 only. My God, I'm not getting that. So that will not be the one. Okay. That's why this one also I try to enter number and put it in integer, but int val is not working. Int can also be used. So let's try to cast it to integer like this. Int. No, I'm getting 7.1 only. That is because of the spaces. Remove spaces in the middle. PHP. Trim, I think. Trim will remove the padding leading spaces. Both sides are padding leading spaces. But it's not doing my task. Trim will do that, but trim will remove beginning and padding spaces. That is not what I need. Middle spaces. Right side. This is left trim, right trim. That is not going to help me. That's why I'm not reducing L trim and R trim. That won't help. Then what you can? I think we can replace the string. Replace characters in PH string. So these things will not be asked in the examination, right? So please note that these are special functions. This won't be asked in the examination, but if they're asking, they will explain. So these things, right? Here you can see str replace world from the Peter. Right, world will be replaced by Peter, and then that will be like Peter world. Okay, so similarly here you can see str replace red with the pink. Red with the pink. Find and replace actually. So let's use str replace and see. Str replace. I'm going to str replace this time. So how I'm going to apply this str replace? Actually, I'm going to apply str replace. The first is the character space. I'm going to replace with nothing in this post, right? The only problem here. So let's try to replace. Oh, sorry. Save. And what will happen after that? Okay, here the spaces are removed. Okay, I'm lucky. Spaces are removed. Now what I need to do, I need to get the int val of that. Not only that, int val of this. After getting the replace, int val of. Now I don't have any spaces, therefore I need to get the entire int value. Okay. Yes, I'm getting that. Okay, done. My work is done. So I'm getting good string. Let's try to insert this to the database. Write in SQL there. So here, go and insert it. Yes, that is what I need. Go to the browse. You can see 2 records now. Same record, 2 copies. Let's erase them together. So I don't need this now. Let's delete them. Yes. Okay, let's try to insert that using our PHP code. My query is okay. How can I run the query? That is the next problem. So to run the query, I can use another variable $result. I'm going to store the result of the query. MySQLi query QUERY MySQLi query and $connection. I'm using that connection and executing this query. If I'm lucky, this should be executed. If the result says the query done, I can say echo successfully inserted. Okay, let's see. Refresh. Successfully inserted means this should contain the value. Great. It's there. That's it. So let's try to insert another value and see. Okay, I'm inserting another value, put in another data, but just put in some address, maybe another city, India, something, unmarried, just put in some other values, just to alter this, and say 0, 7, 2, on the GICTS.lk, some password, need to do some work there, saving this, you can see successfully inserted. Let's see, browse. Okay, I'm lucky. The summary is now in database, right? That is the thing that you need to do. Actually, I don't want to print these values even, I just need to insert this into the database. Right, this task is successfully done. So now your task, what is your task? Your task is this, get this done, right? Because after doing only, I can move to the next part. So please do this. Now take a screenshot, follow the instructions, take a screenshot, do this and check whether it is inserted to the database. Next day, what we are going to do, we are going to retrieve from the database, delete from the database, update from the database. Now the major work is done, inserting, deleting, updating. Yes, deleting, updating, and yes, next day I will complete delete, update, and view. How to view, how to delete, how to update. All 3 things I will do next day. So after doing that, week after next day, I'll be teaching sessions and cookies. Actually, up to that extent, you won't be, that won't be there in the examination, but let's see the syllabus also, and let's complete the lesson like that. Take a screenshot, do this. Let's discuss the remaining part next day. Good night. Okay.